again, the Gladiators have kind of given up this choke point. They're going to let them walk in a little bit, because that's where Doomfist can be really aggressive. And then also, you take away some of the sight lines that Undead would have on the Widowmaker.
Bishu gets ejected from his mech, so a lot less protection is going to be available here for the Gladiators as Hydration is trying to stay safe. That's a big punch, though. You can see how low in HP Roshan went from getting knocked back into the wall. Hydration knows he needs to get back on the ground as quickly as possible, because Undead is looking for those kills, but Dia comes in as demolition duty for the Tracer player on the Dragons. He picks up Hydration, and now the Doomfist is a non-factor. Shawfall firing back, though, in the 1-for-1. Roshan is down, but gets resurrected immediately after.
And I believe that was the Valkyrie coming out from altering, and he dies right away. Shaz able to take him out of the sky. That's a huge kill. It's going to be Big Goose using the Valkyrie here for the Gladiators, as that healing coming from above from Mercy, you know, chaining to everybody should be enough to keep them alive.
That was
big shot there from Surefour.
Surefour waits until Shusho is
and giving that a shot.
This may be the last chance for the Shanghai Dragons to make further progress on this map. It's 20 seconds in the round. Shaz has his ultimate ability, Transcendence, available. Going to be giving a lot of healing in an area of effect to his teammates. This is the best position he can be in as the Gladiators now. Hydration again, bites off more than he can chew, but manages to get out of jail free with the use of the Meteor Strike. Going to be backing away now. Shawfall went down earlier in the fight, but he's brought back up. Hydration again, trying to stay safe. Looking for his next target, but Shaz still has that Transcendence healing ability.
Oh, and he's going to get a big pick. Hydration on altering. You still have that Transcendence. Another pick there for Hydration. Taking out Roshan. This has been a tremendous defense here from the Los Angeles Gladiators. Everybody falling from Shanghai. And this should be a point A hole phenomenon.
Do damage, but he's not always as effective. And he lacks burst damage that Widowmaker would have from that same position.
And playing in this position that Shanghai is in, you know, they're not really giving themselves much of a chance if they do lose this first fight, because you know, the checkpoint, the box of victory is so close for the Los Angeles Gladiators.
There's so much on the line for them.
Yeah.
What
oh!
done. That's beautiful stuff from Shaz. I told you he was insane in the pregame, and you see it right there. That's a very hard ability to hit. It's a right-click Orb of Destruction with Zenyatta. You need to predict the player's movement very well, and Shaz nailed it. Undead falls straight into yet another orb, and Shaz is really making an account of himself. He might be a support player, but he's getting a heck of a lot of kills.
And it's hard for Shanghai, because when you lose Dia on that Tracer, your star DPS player, it forces the tanks to try and back up to help Undead, and that should be it here. One player getting to contest the cart, that will be Dia on the Tracer, but it's highly unlikely he's able to make this work. He does fall. It'll be the Los Angeles Gladiators taking map number
composition. Shawfall finds his mark, but they've still lost Bishu. No Diva's going to be available now for the Gladiators, but it may not matter. MT drops to the point. You can see he's going to be beset on all sides by enemies. He's forced to head to the high ground, but they've managed to dig Shaz out of hiding in the back line.
And that's huge, because you were able to have those players of the Gladiators playing on the point for so long, because you had the healing from Ana from afar. As soon as you get Shaz out of the equation, Shanghai should be able to just kind of work down the point here. It's going to be MG taking out Remix with a self-destruct. Asher, though, still on the point here for the Gladiators with Bishu. Bishu will get demet. Shanghai should be able to take point A.
Great.
Switches over to the Zen. Has to work up his way towards that Transcendence. You have both support ults. Here's the Primal Rage coming out. Be sure for taking out Roshan. It's going to be Transcendence that comes out from Freefield. We'll see if Altering decides to use his Valkyrie, and he does, just as Surefour pulls out the Dragon Blade.
The cheeky Mercy's a bit slippery for Surefour to catch right now. Surefour just has to content himself with getting a little bit of extra damage on the big and bulky targets of the Shanghai Dragons. His Dragon Blade, usually a fight-winning ultimate, wasn't put to great effect there. You can see Surefour again is looking to make sure that
DPS heroes, he can go into Wraith form and dodge some shots, but at that time, you know, you probably have your Tracer jumping on him as well. So I think Shanghai may have expected a Sombra here, because a lot of times on point B, we see one of the supports switch over towards a Sombra. You hack that mega health hack right underneath. You're able to build it towards those EMPs. Reaper's great against Sombra. Not really too great against what the Gladiators throwing out right now.
I hope we see it at some point soon there. You can see Asher was really just trying to do some harassment damage, but is forced to back to the point as the rest of Shanghai have jumped on top of the Gladiators. Roshan, though, goes down first. He was supposed to be the spearhead of the Dragons, and he's cut off at the pass. The damage from Shaz was impressive there. You can see MG goes down, Undead falls, and then Surefour, again sitting now, has a chance to sort of pace himself as he goes right in and tries to find a kill with a pulse bomb. It gets eaten up. The Diva defense matrix is like a Korean space vacuum. And Asher's ulti to prevent that from decimating his backline.
And the Gladiators, you'll have both your support ults and you'll have Primal Rage. Great to stall out. They just dive in deep. That'll be the Valkyrie that comes out for the Gladiators. They get very aggressive. Freefield going to use the Transcendence. Shanghai needs to get down towards that point, though.
They're running out of time. No time left. They've managed to touch the point before the time ran out, so they're going to get some overtime. Surefour has a Riptire available, but he needs to find a safe space to use it. Looks like this will do the job just fine. Again, looking for his target. He lands the tire on towards a Primal Rage Winston, but there's so much HP available for Roshan that it's barely a tickle. Shaz again tries to stay safe. You can see him and his other support player are getting pestered in the backside. But MG getting desuited in the fight. Shaz is now looking for his opposite number. Free fuel goes low. He's down. Shaz wins the 1v1 on the Zenyatta. And now he has so much space to do what he's been doing this whole round. And that's just nasty. Undead falls into the path of an orb. The Gladiators have won that fight out at a crucial moment. And that's going to be it for the round. It's very safe, by the way. He's sitting behind that Orisa shield, so you can't counter that with a Widowmaker. It's really hard to break this high ground position.
And when we go to the overhead map, right here on the high ground, you see it's going to be the push coming in from the Gladiators. They're able to get both supports at the beginning. So what Shanghai also did is, well, Shanghai doesn't get a kill here. It is a bloodbath in favor of the Gladiators.
But with it does for you, but I digress now. I've got to get into the second part because LA are very close to finishing this match in general. Roshan forced to jump away. He has healing from his own Zenyatta, but he's so low, he's being pressured out now. Shawfall can just sit behind him. How much space does this man have? He's hardly getting harassed. Another Dragon Blade, that might be the final nail in the coffin, but he catches Dia. It's a salvo of shurikens that claims the life of his opposite number. Now chasing down the Mercy. Altering can't escape. Freefield's gonna fall next. It was Remix combining with Shawfall and the Dragon Blade, this time having a huge impact for the Canadian player. Shawfall, again, trying to avoid the explosion there from the self-destruct of the Diva, and Undead pretty much on his own here. He's down. Not much the Doomfist can do, and that's gonna be it.
Down a decent amount of damage also to keep her healing bar up, right? I mean, she can only heal for so much, and then she needs to get more resources. Hydration now in the sky, just able to put down a ton of damage. Freefield gets very weak there. They're gonna have to peel for him. Bishu, though, goes in, finishes the kill off. That's what we see a lot with, Pharah Tracer combinations, right? That time it's Pharah and Diva. Pharah puts down some damage with the rockets. Tracer comes in, cleans it up. A lot of kills being cleaned up.
Oh, there it is.
2 direct shots from Hydration will take out Undead. This first point will go to the Gladiators, and now we're up to 96%. If you're Shanghai, you got to get a touch on the point.
Got me now. It's in overtime. You can see Hydration trying to chase down the Mercy. Shaz has fallen to a Deadeye. Undead's found 2. The McCree finally starting to wake up in this fight. Ash is looking deep, though. He's looking for the squishy targets, but he's not able to get the full clip on Freefield. Undead, that's 3 kills for the McCree.
Stay with the Pharah here, as we can take a replay look here from Undead's POV. Here's the Deadeye. You're able to get the Mercy out of the sky, get Hydration extremely low, get both of those.
He's looking for another health pack, and he's found it. Orb's coming around the corner towards Asher, and he knows he needs to take a brief pause here to get his health back. The Gladiators are still here in numbers, Matt.
But Shanghai is going to get both support ults here very soon. Freefield's at 88% towards that Transcendence. He gets very low.
Got him.
Drops at 99%. Not going to have the Transcendence in this fight. Altering now, getting close to his Valkyrie. MG with a big kill onto Iremix. D-Max Bishu as well.
He shut down the tank line of the Gladiators. MG, good work getting in there and dealing with the bulkier targets. But now Ash has managed to respond. He gets rid of MG, desuited and removed from the game for the moment. MG gets resurrected by altering, but he can't get back in his suit. Hydration finds him, and now Big Goose wants to play around the point. You can see how he can boot people away or knock them back. He's trying to get people into the well. That's all he can really do at this stage with the amount of healing available to his opponent. Oh, he's done it! He gets the boop on Freefield while Freefield was using the most important ultimate the Dragons had available. Big Goose just completely gutted the Dragons' chance to finish this.
We'll see. It's going to be Big Goose also using his sound barrier here, trying to stay alive. You see him bump MG, trying to knock him into the well. As also, via self-destruct comes down. MG gets taken out with a nice headshot there. The Primal Rage comes out from Roshan, just trying to stall this out a little bit longer.
Big Goose now, the star, as Shaz was in the first couple of maps. Hydration finds Undead with the barrage of rockets coming down. Freefield's alive for the time being, but Big Goose is trying to chase him down. The rest of the Gladiators seem to have found their marks now, and they're feeling it. Pulse bomb dropped by Dia, but no one connects with it. And we see quickly, Hydration tries to get into the air, but he's taken down. Roshan on to the point. It's going to be a long fight, ladies and gentlemen. Strap yourselves in. Big Goose sits back comfortably now. MG tries to take to the sky, but Altering's low. He got too close to Asher. Picked him off long range with the pulse pistols. Asher with all the room in the world to work with here. And MG's going to get demeched as well.
Yeah, and Shaz pops the Valkyrie there, keeps everybody alive, brings Hydration back at the beginning of the fight. Now you're starting to see the kills go in favor of the Gladiators. They'll take possession of the point quick. Overtime will disintegrate. Now we see him flex onto the Widow.
So the way this map works when Widow is at play is that these two Widows dictate how, who has control of the point and how the round generally works. If Asher gets a pick, the Gladiators have a huge advantage. If vice versa, then it will be the Dragons. Big Goose goes down early, though. He's picked up at long range by Freefield. The Zenyatta's really shining here, and Asher's not given any room to work. Roshan sees his target. The smug purple lady was the one to be doing the damage, and Roshan...
That Undead was it.
She actually has a voice line. If you kill someone with a pistol, she says, you might not want to tell your friends about that.
Well, unfortunately, we all saw that for Undead's sake. So it's a lot like Dorado.
That they admit defeat in the
Yeah, it's a lot like Dorado, where they switch off of the Widow, they went to McCree. You know, if Asher just backs up, there's nobody really at range they have to contest him, but he's playing close range with the Widow. Okay, he's trying to hit Stain shot as he's going to use the grapple, fly on back, get to a little safer position.
See Roshan coming in over the top, and Asher doesn't seem to be too worried about the Winston. What about this one? It's the flailing, flying Fist of Fury from the Primary Winston, but Roshan gets nothing done with it. It's all bluff and blunder, and to no avail. Shaz picks him off. The damage from the Zenyatta again continuing to be strong. We're in overtime now. Los Angeles are in control of the point. Last chance to for Shanghai to bring this map back in free fill. It's turned into expensive cutlery. The Omnic Monk is no more, and Hydration makes it 3. Beautiful stuff from the Gladiators, and once again, it's a map that goes to the purple and white. The Glutted from the Dragons, by the way. We haven't seen this in quite some time.
So the tough thing for the Dragons will be dealing with Sherfor. You already see how fast he's building up towards the ult on far. You're just going to be able to put down so much free, uncontested damage. We'll see, though, if Free Field and 5king can heal it on up. Well, they're not really going to be doing much healing. That's going to be 2 kills to Sherfor, taking out both supports for Shanghai.
Yeah, nasty. Not much healing here. Undead is forced to take a breather with his healing ability, but that's the only ways he's going to get it from. Shorefall looks like he's going to be brought back to keep fighting the good fight.
To the McCree, MD is going to play Tracers. Nice shots come out there from Undead. Get him pretty weak. Now Sherfor is going to go on the flank. He has a big barrage set up here.
Not bad. Let's get a 1 kill. And Shorefall obviously being protected for the most part there by Bishu. The defense matrix was placed over Shorefall, kind of makes a bit of a cone of silence, makes it very, very hard to stop that Pharah from getting optimum damage. And they're going to chase these kills. They're going to get themselves extra ultimate percentage, and it's also going to be longer before the Dragons are going to have 6 men to come back with. Shorefall's got to respect this. Do damage and just stay alive.
And the Gladiators are able to hold on to that Transcendence. They only have to use the Valkyrie here to stay alive. You can take a look from Asher's POV. That's the Pulse Bomb that takes out 5king.
Yeah, almost had himself 2 kills for the price of 1 there, but it seems to have been enough to do the job. 1 minute 22 remains.
It's a little bit early. It'll be Undead taking out Asher there.
It's going to get...
And he's not able to take out 5king there. And they do get some other members, though. It's going to be Rocket Barrage getting a few players weak. 5king using the Valkyrie, getting the double res, bringing 2 more players back into the action. But yeah, I mean, there's so much players coming at him, you know, through his front. It's so difficult to look up to get any type of contest on the Sherfor there. 30 seconds left here. It's not looking good for Shanghai.
This is the last fight here for the Dragons. They need to get this point so they can continue moving on this round. It doesn't seem to have started stellar, though. Shorefall now finds Free Field in the corner, gets 1 big rocket on him. That's going to make him hurt. Remix gets rezzed up back in the fight, so the Gladiators still have 6 players with Undead going down. No, Asher gives up his life to get the kill on the enemy McCree. Big Goose opts to bring up Remix instead. Perhaps a second time in that fight. Bishu taking cover right now again. Where is the enemy, he wonders, as the Dragons have sort of taken a sprint pause in this fight, but Shaz again picks off Roshan. Bishu going hunting for 5king, trying to find the Mercy, doesn't quite get it. No, he does. 5king tries to slip away undetected, and Bishu's going to punish him for his hubris. Now up on the point, still being contested by both sides, and this is everything for the Shanghai Dragons. Last chance for them to make something happen here. The self-destruct claims Remix, but MG is punished, and there's nowhere to be...
He'll play 76.
Oh, that's so nasty.
That can't happen right away. I mean, Dia has to play a little bit more careful in that, because you have to know you only really have 1 great opportunity to hold on defense.
Okay, it's traded out. Undead eventually finds a kill on Shorefall, but you can see that 5king was hoping to get a resurrect on his Pharah player, but he couldn't. He was forced away by the rest of the Gladiators. Now, again, they're not giving them any room to breathe. This is great aggression. Good tempo and pressure being applied on Asher. Pulse Bomb. This could be super nasty, but no, the Shanghai Dragons scrabble away from the explosive device. Dropped lazily on the ground, and now Asher's going to keep them inside the hunting lodge if he can, but MG comes out.
Now they have switched off the Pharah. D will go to Tracer. Probably wanted to get back, yeah. Extremely low here.
Oh, it's mini Diva kill. That's so huge. Thanks for the replay. We wouldn't have known otherwise. That is so impressive. With a Bunny Blaster, that's a way to add insult to injury.
Now Sherfor, though, building up towards that Rocket Barrage. It'll be Shaz using the Transcendence. 5king will use the Valkyrie here. As see Sherfor just playing around the corner, able to land 2 nice rockets onto Undead. It'll be 5king using a res onto Roshan, trying to keep him in the action. There comes the Rocket Barrage out of Sherfor, gets nothing with it.
5king's done a great job staying alive and getting these resurrects, but it might not be enough to keep the Gladiators away from their front door. They're knocking, and Shorefall's already found MG in the fight. There's no resurrect available for 5king. He needs to take a back seat his Valkyrie also has expired, so he has less healing and less mobility, and that's going to prevent him from escaping as Remix bears down upon him. Welcome to the jungle. We've got fun and video games, and the Gladiators are looking real good now. It's so far to walk back for the Dragons. They probably don't have anyone remotely close enough. It's MG to try and keep this one stalled out a little bit longer, but again, he's dispatched very, very quickly. Time's up, Dragons. That's the series. A big bit of 4 Overwatch for you as the Gladiators look real good.